How many times have you, Pastor, printed out fancy Connect cards or postcards or flyers and said, hey, go pass these out to your friends and family, people at work, people that you see at daycare or school, and invite them to church? And at the end of the month, you've got no newer visitors, no increased guests list, no more Connect cards, and you've got sleeves and sleeves of these invite cards. The answer to getting more guests and having your church members make more invites has nothing to do with invite cards. It has nothing to do with postcards. It has nothing to do with design or even deliverable assets that you can give to people for them passed out. It barely even has anything to do with gifts. What you need to do to get your church inviting more people is to cast a vision and clarify your messaging of who your church is and why you exist. How many times has someone given you a business card and you never looked at it? And the times you did look at it, why? Because you knew something was important about this. This accountant's going to save me money. This coupon's going to save me money or get me something else, right? This person is a person that I can call when I need XYZ. And if you don't have any idea of that urgency, that almost pain of like, I need this taken care of, you're going to throw that business card away. You're going to throw that invite card go away. You're going to lose it in your car and you're going to find it in 3 months when you clean it out. So we have to cast a vision, remind the church, clarify who you are. Guys, this is why we exist. We don't exist to come in here and feel good and sing songs. We are here because we are on a mission to make disciples and impact our community, to be salt of the earth. And you guys get to play a part of that. This is not on the pastor to do all by myself, or the church leaders to do all on our own. This is for the entire church to participate. Because just like I said, church, you can just steal this from me if it's any good. People in our community are killing themselves. 1 in 3 people are going to have more stress, more anxiety, more depression, drink more, abuse drugs more. Try to fit more square pegs in those circle holes that only God is supposed to fit. So church, it's time for us to come out of our shell, and a great time. We are intentionally making this Christmas service, this Christmas cantata, this Christmas performance, this Thanksgiving giveaway, whatever it is, we are intentionally making this accessible to people who have never been to church, who haven't been to church in a few years, who are unsatisfied with their lives right now. This is the best place to come in and to find the gospel message and be saved from sin the same that you were, right? Whatever the message is for your church. There are people out there with real questions that are wrestling with their faith, and a wolf in sheep's clothing is coming to answer that and to draw them away from what God really has. What God really has, okay? There are people out there that are hurting, that can't afford health care, that are drowning in debt, and our church wants to come alongside and be that answer and show them the love of Christ through helping them with their medical bills, through opening a clinic for them, by running a clinic for them. Whatever the message is, preach that message. I would say daily. Make that the entire message of your social media. You got an email newsletter. Stop talking about what the event is and talk about why it's important. We'll get to that in a second. Another thing too is you have to remember that, yeah, people are lonely, people are anxiety, people are anxious, people are ready to misuse and abuse drugs and alcohol and whatever else, whatever vices they might have to try to get through this stressful season. For many more than I was expecting. I still hear this from my clients. I still hear we've got people that this is their first time going to an event after coming out of the last couple years. Whether they were scared, whether they were immunocompromised, whether they were just comfortable being around the friends and family they do have, this is the first time they're coming to a public event. Now, me and my family, we live in Texas. We were pretty much done by September of 2020, but others are not, right? And so, we have to make our congregation aware that for many people, even though we might have been out and about shopping, vacationing, visiting family, coming to church and other community gatherings for a couple years now, for some, this is a very rare opportunity, and they're just now feeling comfortable getting out of the house and being around a bunch of strangers. And so what a perfect time to come alongside and say, hey, I know you're just getting out. I know you're just trying to feel things the way the world is. We've got a really safe place that's here for you to figure out what's been going on and to find your purpose after being purposeless for the last couple of years. This is huge. So cast that vision, pastor, church leader, remind people. This is why we exist. This is who we are called to serve. This is who we are equipped to serve. This is who God has gifted you to serve. Knowing that, heck, I'll make my own invite card. I'll text my friends right now. I don't need anything. I'm not No one is sitting around saying, oh, I'd love to invite people to church, but I just don't have an invite card. People aren't saying that, okay? Only people who create, they're some of my good friends. Only they are saying that. More people would invite if you just had an invite card. I love you guys. Rock, Micah. They're not inviting because they don't see the purpose. It's embarrassing, really, sometimes. And so cast that vision of why it's not embarrassing, it's empowering. Sometimes it's empowering to surrender yourself. It's kind of that oxymoronic thing, but hey, you've been trying to figure it out on this own. Good news, you don't have to figure it out on your own. In fact, you don't have to go through this alone. Even when you're by yourself in your house, you are not alone. You are not purposeless. You are not hopeless. And this is a pretty cool event to come figure that out with. So cast that vision to your church. I promise you, if you take one church that just has invite cards and you take another church that casts that vision with those invite cards, you're going to have more guests, less invite cards, more cards going out into the community than if you just print invite cards by themselves. This show wasn't about invite cards. I don't even have the word invite cards on my notes here. It's just, I want to hammer this into you, Pastor. It's not about what you're missing. It's the why that is missing.